Okay, so today we are going to be making our own stamps and prints. So traditionally that kind of thing is done using materials like a wood block that you would then carve into, or lino material, which is what this is made out of, which I then carved into using some carving tools. That's what this is also. This is unmounted, so there's no wood block on the back of it, so it's a little bit thinner, a little bit bendy. And then the most flexible and easiest one to carve into would be a silicone or rubber material like this. So this is what I made previously, and I'm going to show you basically how I would go about making a print once I have this all carved out. So I would lay it down. I have some ink already in this little dish, and I have this brayer. So what this is, a little roller to get the ink nice and even on my little carve out. And then I just roll it out like that. Try not to get too much ink on there, but enough for the design to show. It's easy for too much ink to get on there and everything to kind of blob up. So sometimes you have to do multiple attempts to make it look okay. And then I take my piece of paper and I just lay it down on top. Pull this back, and there you go. That's how it came out. Pretty good. We can get started on doing our own version of that using some tools that are more likely to be found around the house. So I have some paint, regular paint. I have just an expo marker. You can use like a washable marker or any kind of dry erase marker that you have, or just a regular permanent marker. This just makes it so that when I'm doing my design on your canvas, which is going to be Styrofoam, if I make a mistake, I can wash it off, but either way is fine. And then I have a sponge brush, a pencil, or any other kind of carving tool that you want to use to get your design carved out. And then I have a circular piece of styrofoam that I cut out of a styrofoam plate. And I cut it out just so that when I am putting a piece of paper down, I don't accidentally press too hard and crush it and then ruin my whole design. So I take my piece of styrofoam and I'm just going to decide what kind of design I want. Now, when I'm making my design, I have to remember that it's going to be a mirror image when I do the print. So for instance, if I do the word just art, I have to put it mirrored like that. Otherwise, when I go to carve it and press it down, it's not going to show up correctly. So you can kind of see a little bit on the other side what it looks like when you make your print. So I'm just going to go ahead and add some little squiggles, just something simple, just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So then I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to carve into the plate, and I want to make sure my lines are thick. So you can see when I drew out the word, I didn't make anything super thin, because that way, just like when I did the previous print, I don't want any of the lines to be too thin and then ink to get kind of globbed up in there, because then it's just going to make blobs and it won't show what I'm trying to actually show. So then I'm just carving it out. I kind of made this R a little bit too much that way, so I'm gonna fix that with the carving so that it's not so uneven. But if I make a mistake, that's okay. And I'm sure whatever you guys come out with will be better than this example anyway. I have that carved out. Now remember, you're gonna see the mirror image of this. So, let me shake this up a little bit. You're gonna take your sponge brush, and you can either put the paint onto another surface first, which is what or just like on the brush directly, but I'm just gonna put it on the tarp. So I can make sure I don't put too much at one time. Just go like that, but I wanna go quick because since this is acrylic, it'll dry quickly and I don't want this to dry before I can put my paper down. It's already drying on me, so let's go fast. Okay, and now I'm going to actually put this on top of the paper and press down. So a bit opposite of what I did with this one, but that way I can really apply some pressure without worrying about the styrofoam cracking. And then I lift it, and that's what I got. So you can see that the paint started drying a little bit too quickly, and I didn't go fast enough. So let's try that one again. Okay, I wasn't that happy with my first try, so I'm going to try again. Before just putting more paint and trying again, I went and rinsed off my styrofoam. That way there isn't any paint inside of the places I carved. And I'm gonna go ahead and double check. So that looks good to me. I also went and got some red paint so I can try doing 2 different colors. So I have 2 different sponge brushes now. I'm going to start with the blue because we learned from previous art encounter classes, right, that the red is gonna overpower this light blue shade very easily, so I don't want that to happen. So I'm gonna start with the blue, go in with the red, and then try to make a print before it all dries. So let's see. Pull it back up. And there we go, that came out a lot better this time. You can actually see that it says art this time. The paint is a lot thicker, so it doesn't look so faded. Not bad, especially for something that I did very quickly. I'm sure whatever you guys make is gonna look a lot better than what I did. So looking at this, we can see what I was talking about it being the mirror image, right? If you are having difficulty kind of visualizing what your final print is gonna look like, I recommend holding up your carving to a window. That way you can see what it looks like on the reverse, and it'll show you what your final image is gonna look like. I am looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with. I've seen some really great projects done in the past, a lot better than anything I made here, so I'm sure whatever you guys make is gonna impress me. So I'm gonna go ahead and rinse this, clean up my mess, and I'm gonna put some pictures of some previous projects that I've seen in the video right now.